I never thought betrayal could taste like stale airline coffee and recycled air. But there I was, 30,000 feet above the flat sprawl of Kansas, choking it down. The flight attendant, her name tag read Maria, leaned in so close I could smell her vanilla body spray cutting through the jet fuel haze. "Destination changed to nursing home," she whispered, her voice a razor, slicing the hum of the engines. I didn't flinch. Didn't demand an explanation. I just unbuckled my seatbelt with steady hands, the click echoing like a gunshot in my skull, and rose from 24C, stepping into the aisle as if I'd been waiting my whole damn life for this cue. Passengers twisted in their seats, eyes wide like I'd just announced the rapture. A businessman in a rumpled Brooks Brothers suit clutched his tablet, mouth agape. The mom too rose up, shushed her kid, who was gnawing on a fruit pouch, oblivious to the storm brewing. I ignored them all, my carry-on slung over one shoulder like a loaded Glock. This wasn't impulse, it was choreography. Every step rehearsed in the quiet hours of prison cells and motel rooms from Seattle to Savannah. I'd gotten on this flight from LAX to JFK, knowing it might end like this, mid-air mutiny. Destination derailed. But nursing home? That was Elena's flourish. Her twisted little signature on the revenge we'd scripted together. Or so I thought. Let me back up. Because you don't drop into a story like this without the bones of what broke you. My name's Kennedy Hale. And 5 years ago, I was the kind of woman who baked apple pie for block parties in suburban Ohio and volunteered at the local animal shelter on weekends. 38. Divorced once. No kids. Running a boutique event planning firm that specialized in corporate retreats, think trust falls, and overpriced charcuterie. Life was predictable. The American dream wrapped in a tidy bow. Until Victor. Victor Lang was my partner in every sense, business, bed, the whole 9 yards. Charismatic as hell, with that Wall Street wolf grin and eyes like polished obsidian. We met at a networking mixer in Chicago, sparks flying over gin and tonics. He swept me into his world. High-stakes deals, private jets to Vegas, whispers of going legit after one last score. Just this one, he'd say, his hand on my thigh under the table. Then we retired to the Keys. You and me. I believed him. God help me. I did. The score was a Ponzi scheme dressed up as a green energy startup. Victor's brainchild, pulling in marks from Silicon Valley tech bros to Midwest retirees. I handled the events, glitzy launches with TED-style talks and craft cocktails, to reel them in. It was all smoke and mirrors, but I told myself it was victimless, that these suckers could afford the hit. Until the feds came knocking. Turns out, Victor had skimmed an extra 10 mil, funneling it into offshore accounts tied to shell companies. And the paper trail? It looped right back to me. Forged emails, doctored ledgers, my signature on every damning page. I took the fall. 5 years in federal lockup. White-collar wing at Alderson, West Virginia. Victor? He walked. Testified against me for immunity. Then vanished into witness protection with a new identity and a beach house in Florida. The kicker? He'd planted the seed years earlier, grooming me as the patsy. You're the face. Ken, he'd croon. The trustworthy one. I rotted while he sipped pina coladas. And the secret he buried deepest? Our unborn daughter. Miscarriage at 3 months, right after the raid. Stress, the doctor said. Victor knew, but he never visited, never called. Just left me to grieve in a 6x8 with a concrete view. Out on good behavior last spring. I didn't waste time on tears. I hired a PI, the kind who drinks too much and knows every dirty cop from here to Houston. Tracked Victor to a gated community in Palm Beach, living as Ethan Crow, married to a Botox trophy wife half his age. But he wasn't alone in the betrayal. Enter Elena, my half-sister on my mother's side, estranged since Mom's overdose when I was 16. I'd found her through ancestry sites, reached out during those long prison nights. Turns out, she was Victor's mole, the one who'd fed him the inside track on my comings and goings. Family reunion. My ass. Elena was a ghost in the machine, a hacker with a rap sheet longer than my sentence. She'd flipped on Victor after he stiffed her on a payout, but her loyalty? About as stable as a Jenga tower in an earthquake. We met in a dive bar off I-95. Her tattoos snaking up olive skin, eyes darting like she expected feds in every booth. He screwed us both. Sis, she said, sliding me a burner phone. But I know where the bodies are buried. Literally, one of Victor's investors had vanished after asking too many questions, courtesy of a dockside accident in Miami. Elena had the proof. Encrypted drives hidden in cloud lockers. We plotted over cheap whiskey, expose him, bleed him dry, make him beg. That's how I ended up on Flight 217. Economy Plus, because even revenge has a budget. Elena's intel said Victor, sorry, Ethan, would be in first class, heading to a board meeting in New York. She'd hacked the manifest. Whispered to Maria, a cousin, apparently in on the grift for a cut. The nursing home line? Code for the assisted living facility, where Victor's mother rotted away. Alzheimer's eating her memories. Elena's plan. I'd confront him mid-flight, force a confession with a hidden recorder, then bail at the first layover. JFK had a private terminal for emergencies. Turbulence would cover the drama, and Maria would smooth the pilot's feathers. As I strode toward first class, the cabin narrowed like a funnel to hell. My heart hammered, but my face cool as a cucumber in a dive bar. Victor was there, seat 2A, nursing a scotch, oblivious. He looked older, pauncher, that wolf grin softened by sun and sin. I stopped at the curtain, our eyes locking. His widened, color draining like milk through a sieve. Ken, he choked, glass trembling. You look like shit, Vic, I said, voice low, venom sweet. Miss me? He bolted up, suit jacket flapping. What the hell are you, security? But Maria was there, hand on his arm, murmuring about lavatory malfunctions. The other passengers, silver-haired execs and a celeb I half recognized, shifted uncomfortably. I leaned in, breath ghosting his ear. We need to talk. Now. Or Elena hit send on those files. Your mommy's nursing home gets a special delivery. Photos of her boy's retirement fund. His face crumpled. That schemer's mask cracking. Please. Kennedy. It was business. You were always the strong one. Lies. But they stung like salt in old wounds. I shoved the recorder in his palm. Hit record on my phone. Confess. All of it. The scheme, the frames, the baby. He glanced around, sweat beading. The plane dipped, a gasp rippling through the cabin. Okay. But not here. He nodded to the forward galley, a cramped nook of carts and coffee urns. Maria blocked the view, her whisper now a hiss. 2 minutes. Make it count. Inside, the air thick as regret. Victor spilled. halting at first, then a flood. How he'd forged the docks during our Vegas trip. How Elena had been his lookout from day one. She came to me.
Ken.
Said you'd cut her out of the will after your mom died. Revenge runs in the blood. My blood boiled. Elena's sob story about mom's estate? Fabricated. But then the twist he dropped like a gut punch. The miscarriage? I didn't know. But Elena. She pushed it. Slipped something in your drink that night. Payback for you getting the house. The galley spun. Elena? My ally? My blood? Victor's eyes gleamed. That old moxie flickering. Think about it. She's playing you both. Those files? They'll bury me. Sure. But she'll take the lion's share. Walk away.
Ken.
We can start over. Doubt wormed in. Slimy and cold. The plane bucked again. Announcements crackling. Please return to your seats. I pocketed the phone. Confession gold. Too late for us. Vic. But Elena? She's next. I turned. Galley door swinging. Ready to deplane at the first chance. What I didn't see coming. The shadow behind me. Victor's hand on a call button. Maria's eyes narrowing, not in solidarity, but calculation. Betrayal's a family affair. And this flight was just takeoff. File 2. Turbulence, word count, 998. The cabin lights flickered as we hit another pocket of clear air turbulence. The kind that makes grown men grip armrests like life rafts. I stumbled back into the aisle. Victor's confession burning a hole in my pocket. His words echoing. Elena. The poisoner. The double-crosser. My half-sister. The hacker with the vendetta heart. Had dosed me. The thought clawed up bile. Hot and acidic. I'd trusted her. Shared prison letters. Mapped our takedown like sisters in some Lifetime movie. But Victor's gleam said truth. Or, at least his version. And in this hurtling tin can, versions were all we had. I needed air. Real air. Not this pressurized lie. Maria caught my elbow. Her grip iron under the manicure. JFK in 40. Pilots cleared the off-ramp. Off-ramp, aviation slang for the discreet exit at the gate. No baggage claim fanfare. She'd get me a cab to Elena's bolt hole in Queens, where the drives waited.
But now?
Doubt nod. Was Maria clean? Or another pawn in Elena's game? First class erupted in murmurs as I passed. Victor slouched in his seat. Scotch glass empty. Staring daggers. A flight attendant, not Maria, ushered me back. Her smile plastic. Ma'am. Please. I flashed my phone. The recording app glowing. Tell your captain we're good. Family emergency. She blinked. Then nodded. Vanishing into the cockpit. The door sealed with a pneumatic sigh. Locking Victor out.
For now.
I sank into my seat. The vinyl creaking under me like old bones. The window showed nothing but black void and wing lights winking against storm clouds. Ohio girl through and through. I'd always hated flying. Too much like free falling without a net. But prison cures phobias. You learn to embrace the drop. 5 years inside. I'd traded apple pies for shank whittling lessons. Event plans for escape routes. Victor's betrayal had hollowed me. But Elena's outreach filled the void. Letters at first. I'm sorry for Mom. He used me too. Then visits. Her across the glass. Spinning tales of Victor's abuses. We'd bonded over shared scars, her foster kid hell. My teen mom's suicide watch. Blood calls to blood. Or so I thought. The seatbelt sign dinged off. and the cart rattled by, offering warm nuts and overpriced wine. I waved it off, mind racing. If Elena poisoned me, why confess now through Victor? Leverage? Or was he gaslighting? Flipping the script like always? The man was a chameleon, Wall Street by day, club promoter by night. Always 3 steps ahead until the feds clipped his wings. Post-trial, he'd charmed his way into protection. Even got a book deal ghostwritten as reformed hustler. I saw the promo on a contraband TV. Ethan Crow. Phoenix from ashes.
Gag.
My burner buzzed. Elena's text. Status? I typed back. Convo done. He's shaking.
Lie.
To test waters. Dots danced good. Files prepped. See you at drop. No warmth. Just business. Suspicion coiled tighter. I needed proof. Something concrete before JFK. The plane leveled, and I hit the lavatory, the one bottleneck of solitude. Lock clicked. Mirror fogged from prior use. Staring back, crow's feet deeper than before. Auburn hair streaked gray from stress. You got this. Ken, I muttered, splashing water. But the reflection lied. I was unraveling. Back in seat, I cued the recording. Earbud in. Victor's voice tinny. Elena pushed it. Slipped something. Heart stuttered. Motive? Mom's death left me the house. Elena nothing but a cardboard box of photos. She'd hinted resentment. But poisoning? That was cartel-level grudge. Not sibling spat. Turbulence hit hard then. A downdraft slamming us like God's own haymaker. Screams peppered the cabin. Oxygen masks dangling like nooses. I gripped the armrest. Nails digging vinyl. In the chaos, a shadow loomed. Victor. Weaving down the aisle. Face ashen but eyes feral. Kennedy, he bellowed over the roar. Passengers parted like Red Sea. Phones out. Liv tweeting the meltdown. Security, 2 burly types in polo shirts, grabbed him mid-stride. Sir, return to your seat, he thrashed,
Pointing.
She's a convict, armed and dangerous. Lies. But panic spreads like flu. A woman in row 20 clutched her pearls. The kid from earlier wailed. Maria appeared. Megaphone calm. Folks. Minor weather. All good. But Victor's outburst lit the fuse. Whispers. Ex-con? Terrorist? I stood. Voice steady. He's the criminal. Ladies and gents. Ponzi kingpin. Framed his own girl. Gasps. A smattering of claps. Polarizing already. Half the cabin nodding. The other half edging away. Victor lunged. Breaking free. Fist cocked. You bitch. Elena's using you. The punch glanced my shoulder. Fire blooming. Security piled on. Zip-tying him to a jump seat. Blood trickled mine. A shallow cut from his ring. No gore. Just the metallic tang of escalation. Maria pulled me aside.
Galley again.
What the fuck? Her whisper fierce. He's calling your bluff. It's no bluff, I snapped, dabbing the cut with a napkin. But Elena. You know her. Is she straight? Maria's eyes flicked guilt. Cousin's family. But family's complicated.
Bingo.
She was the weak link. Blood pulling both ways. The plane steadied. Captain's voice crackling. Folks. We're diverting to Pittsburgh for passenger assistance. Victor's doing. He'd hit the panic button. Spun a tail to air traffic.
Smart bastard. Descent began.
Lights on. Cabin hushed. I cornered Maria. Get me off first. And the files. Elena's got a dead man switch. She nodded, reluctant. If you don't check in by wheels down, it dumps everything. FBI.
SSC.
Leverage. But whose? Victor zip-tied. Ranting. She's poisoning the well. Listen to me. Passengers divided, some filming, others averting eyes. A young guy in 25V leaned over. Man. You okay? That guy's unhinged. Ally? Or setup? Touchdown Jared like a slap. Brakes screeching on Pittsburgh tarmac. Stairs rolled up. Doors hissing open. Cops waited. Badges glinting under floodlights. Maria nodded. Go. I'll handle him. I bolted down the stairs. Night air slapping cold. Carry on thumping. A black SUV idled. Elena's contact. Tinted windows. Engine purring. Door swung. Her silhouette inside. Get in, sis. Time to end this. I hesitated, wind whipping my hair. Victor's words echoed. She's using you. But revenge burned brighter. I slid in, door slamming. Tires spun. Airport fading. Little did I know, the real turbulence was just beginning. Elena's smile in the dash light. Sharper than any shank. File 3. Landing. Word count. 990. The SUV tore through Pittsburgh's outskirts like a bullet from a .45. Streetlights blurring into neon streaks against the Allegheny River's oily gleam. Elena drove. Her knuckles white on the wheel. That tattooed snake on her forearm seeming to writhe with every shift. Files are live, she said. No preamble. Victor's toast, accounts frozen by dawn. Headlines by lunch. Her voice was gravel and glee. But I caught the edge. The flicker in her rear-view glance. Poison. Miscarriage. The words festered like an open sore. I shifted, the cut on my shoulder throbbing under my jacket. He sang like a canary.
Él
Said you dosed me. That night in Vegas. Direct hit. No chaser. She laughed, sharp, like breaking glass, but didn't deny. Vic's a liar.
Ken.
Always has been. Blaming the messenger. The city gave way to industrial sprawl. Warehouses hulking like forgotten gods. Our drop was a storage unit off Route 376. Elena's lair stocked with servers and secrets. We pulled into the lot. Chain link rattling in the wind. She killed the engine. Fished keys from her leather pants. Inside. Proofs waiting. I followed. Boots crunching gravel. Burner phone heavy in my pocket. The unit yawned open, fluorescence buzzing over metal shelves of hard drives. A cot in the corner smelling of takeout and regret. Elena booted a laptop. Screens blooming with Victor's digital graveyard. Bank logs. Emails. Even grainy security footage of that Miami accident. A bloated body fished from the bay. Tagged DOA. See. She jabbed the screen. He offed that investor himself. Sloppy, but airtight. I scrolled, bile rising. There it was, the forged docs. My name in bold. And deeper, buried in metadata, a transfer to Elena's account. $500,000. Time-stamped post-raid. You're cut, I said, voice flat. She shrugged, lighting a smoke. Hazard pay. He owed me for Mom's mess.
Mom.
The ghost between us. I'd gotten the house in Cleveland, modest split level. Mom's rose bushes out front, while Elena bounced foster homes. You think I poisoned you out of spite? She exhaled, smoke curling like accusation. Stress did that. Ken. Vic's stress. But yeah, I spiked your drink. Not to hurt the baby, to make you slip up, give him reason to doubt you. Insurance policy. The room tilted. Insurance? For what? Framing me harder. She stubbed the cig, eyes hard as flint. Survival. You were the golden child. Always. Mom's favorite. I fixed that. Fixed. Like a stray cat. Rage boiled. But cold now. Calculated. This was the betrayal's core, not Victor's greed, but blood's ancient grudge. I palmed the burner. Thumb on send. You played us both. Elena's laugh died. And you'd do the same. Revenge isn't clean. Sis. She stepped closer. Hand dipping to her waistband. Knife? Gun? The air thickened. Unit's walls closing like a vice. Outside. Tires crunched. SUV? Cops? My mind raced. Maria's flicker. Victor's rant. Had he flipped the script for real? Tipped feds en route? Door banged open. Silhouettes flooding in. Not badges, thugs. Two of them. Victor's old crew from the scheme days. Miami muscle. Faces scarred from bar fights and bad decisions. Boss says hello, the bigger one grunted. Toothpick rolling. Elena spun. Cursing in Spanish. You ratted? To me? No, her eyes on the laptop. Realization dawning. Victor's gleam mid-confession. He palmed my phone in the galley scuffle. Swapped it with a dud. The recording? His. Chaos erupted, Elena lunging for a hidden drive, me diving behind shelves. Fists flew, metal clanging. One thug grabbed her, arm bar snapping her wrist with a wet crack. She screamed, kicking wild. I snatched a tire iron from the floor, swung low, cracked to knees, thug crumpling. Run, I yelled, but Elena was feral, stabbing with a shard of glass from the shattered screen. Blood sprayed, not graphic, just dark blooms on denim, but the air reeked of copper and sweat. The second thug pinned me, breath like onions. Bitch thinks she's Rambo. His fist rose. But Elena was there, glass plunging. He howled, staggering. We bolted, unit's door slamming, SUV keys jingling. Tires screamed as we peeled out, Pittsburgh lights receding. Victor's endgame, she gasped, wrist cradled. He flipped on me too, called his dogs. Sirens wailed distant. We ditched the SUV in a rail yard, hopped a freight to Cleveland, full circle, Mom's house waiting like a trap. Dawn broke gray as we crashed there, barricading doors. Elena patched her wrist with ace bandages and bourbon. Truce, she asked, voice small. I handed her the real phone, Victor's confession intact, minus the swap. For now. But revenge's climax isn't tidy. We leaked the files that afternoon. FBI swarm on Victor's Palm Beach pad by noon. Headlines screaming Ponzi Prince falls. He lawyered up. But the Miami body? That stuck. Elena got a deal. Immunity for her hacks.
Me?
Cleared. Charges expunged. A settlement check fat enough for the keys. Victor rotted in county, his mother oblivious in her nursing home haze. We stood on Mom's porch that night, roses wilting in the chill. Elena lit another smoke. Was it worth it? I watched fireflies dance. Ghosts of what-ifs. The miscarriage. The poison, forgiven?
No.
But in the gray, we were even. Sisters, schemers, survivors. Victor's last call from lockup. You win, Ken. But Elena? Watch your back. She smirked. Always do. Was it justice? Or just another scheme? Readers, you tell me, blood's thicker than ink. But revenge? It stains forever. Happy ending? For some. Bye for the rest. The plane landed. But the fall? That's the American way.